In this self-nip bobbly da baba dee ba doo doo. Greetings, listeners all around the world. You're listening to the Uniquilibrium podcast by Hypno Athletics, exercising your mind. I'm your host and guide, Hakeem Alibokus Alexander, and I'll be talking about all things metaphysical, hypnosis, and meditation for relaxation, sleep, lucid dreaming, and beyond. Get ready. Here we go. In this episode of the Uniquilibrium podcast, I will be presenting to you, dear listener, how to recall alien abduction experiences. And it's going to be building upon previous work that I've done, specifically what I call the balance protocol, which the 3 steps are to breathe, affirm, and listen, using numbers, counting, and my demi-phase sound designs and frequency formulas, which are specially formulated using specific musical notes or tones, isochronic tones, that have certain effects on the body, the mind, and the spirit, and also pairing up 2 different isochronic tones to create a binaural beat or an audio hallucination that your brain hears when it takes in the 2 different tones that are slightly different from each other. In this case, one of the frequencies that we're stimulating is 4 hertz or 4 cycles per second. And combining that with a breathing meditation and an affirmation spoken out loud or in your mind, in your thoughts, that are also paired with the binaural beat, in this case 4. So I did mention it's built upon work I've done before. The balance protocol, I first started making it public when I decided to create the healing audios for a program, a course that I created called Neutralizing Naughty Narcissist. I did a rant about that. It was a video I put on the YouTube page, and I took the audio and made it into one of these podcasts. I'll put the link to that for those interested in seeing when I first released the balance protocol publicly. And I followed it up with a frequency formula called Neutralizing Narcissism. The next one coming after that will be Nurturing Authenticity, and the final part of that will be called Neutralizing Narcissists. Anyway, but you're here to learn how to recall alien abduction experiences. I think one of the first things I should have mentioned is that there's a severe warning attached to this. Do not listen to this audio or follow the instructions if you know you would not be able to handle the idea or the experience that you've been kidnapped or visited by alien beings. This is a traumatic experience for some people. The recall of this experience could be very psychologically disturbing and damaging. It is advised that you consult a licensed mental health practitioner if you have any doubts about your mental stability, or even your physical stability. I want people having a heart attack or something like that listening to this stuff and having these experiences come up. Now here, there's also more reasons for this severe warning. I have a link that you'll be able to find from Wikipedia, and a quote that says that most scientists and mental health professionals explain these experiences, the experiences being abducted by alien beings, of course. They explain these experiences by factors such as suggestibility, for example, false memory syndrome. As a hypnotist, as a trained and practicing clinical hypnotist, suggestibility means that someone suggested or somehow planted that idea in your mind. You can look into false memory syndrome, which is why hypnosis... There were just a lot of big cases with people accusing other people of doing certain things that weren't true because of the way that a psychologist or hypnotist interviewed a person. They fed them certain information that triggered the person's imaginations. It's the same way that guided imagery works. For example, we start suggesting certain pictures or images or ideas, and the person begins to imagine it. So imagination isn't only pictures and images. Just want to make sure, even though the word imagination has the word image in it, an image can actually consist of other senses. So suggestibility can be one thing, false memory syndrome. Sleep paralysis, and I'm very familiar with sleep paralysis and having lucid dreams combined with them, out-of-body experiences or astral projection, and also some of these encounters with, or these different types of paranormal or supernatural experiences with anything. Well, I used to think there were demons sometimes when I was younger, but then there were the aliens, or the extraterrestrial beings, or non-human entities, whatever you want to call them, non-human biological entities. So, a severe warning, because even just the fact of, just the act of listening to something that even has this title, How to Recall Alien Abduction Experiences, in itself could be a suggestion that if you haven't had the experience, this, just even the title alone and following the instructions could possibly trigger a false memory. I want to be completely clear about that. Now, I could have label this something like how to uncover repressed memories. I think that would have been, now that I'm thinking about it, something neutral like that might even be more appropriate. And I dare to say about myself, I wonder if it's irresponsible for me to publish this with this title, How to Recall Alien Abduction Experiences. Interesting. I have to think about that. I'm going to publish it anyway, and I'm going to do an experiment with the other audio. That's a good idea to release it. The other one called How to Uncover Repressed or Hidden Memories. But this will do. Lots of people are interested in alien abduction experiences, and if you want to go for it, even though the title is in itself a suggestion. You just must know that. And so if you're okay with suggesting to yourself that you might have had an experience with being kidnapped by aliens, even if it didn't happen, then you're in the right place, my friend, because it could happen that way. There's also a link I put in here, Alien Abduction, a Medical Hypothesis. So that would be interesting for you to read that too. It's good to to get all the information that you possibly can get about these possible experiences. So this is how you will recall an alien abduction experience. So following next, those are going to be the instructions for how to recall alien abduction experiences. Greetings, fellow podcast creators, listeners, and enthusiasts. The other day, when I was listening to one of my favorite podcasts, I discovered that they were distributed on this platform right here. And if you haven't heard of Anchor before, let me tell you, as someone who's been creating podcasts for at least 6 years, since 2015, I've found that Anchor offers the easiest way to get started creating, distributing, and monetizing your podcast. First of all, Anchor is completely free. There's nothing that you have to pay to get started, and you have access to these amazing creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast from your phone or your computer. As a matter of fact, I'm recording this message to you from my phone right now. And if you want to get heard all over the world, Anchor offers a free automatic distribution service. That's right, it's free, and you get distribution in places like Spotify and Apple Podcasts, amongst many others. And what about making money? If you're ready to do that, Anchor makes it super easy too, and they do not require you to have a minimum listenership. So even if one person listens to your podcast, you can still make money. It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. So if you're ready, download the free Anchor app or go to Anchor FM to get started. That's ANCHOR.FM to get started creating your podcast now. Okay, so how do you recall alien abduction experiences according to my demi-phase audios and this balance protocol? There's a slight difference here in how I've instructed the balance protocol before, because I've tested it and I took out a little bit of a step. I combined some things together so that it takes less time, and also it doesn't take away from the effectiveness. Actually, it in many cases may even increase the efficacy or the potency of how this works. So how to do it now is, of course, find yourself in a comfortable position that is suitable for relaxation, meditation, or sleep even. Get a pair of headphones, earbuds, or high quality speakers ready with the demi-phase audio file that I've titled Alien Abduction Recall. And hopefully you're listening to this on through uniquilibrium.com on the blog. If not, you should go there, because that's where you'll get access to the downloads for and the streaming. There's a embedded podcast player in the audio below the one that you're listening to now. This is the instructions for how to recall alien abduction experiences, but the audio file that you can stream or download, which is called Alien Abduction Recall, will be in an embedded player on the website uniquilibrium.com. So number 2, once you've gotten yourself in a comfortable position and you've got the audio file queued up or downloaded or ready to play as a stream, make sure you listen to a little bit of it first and adjust the volume. So then the second part of that is to play the demi-phase audio file, Alien Abduction Recall. Of course, with a good pair of headphones, earbuds, or speakers placed on the left and right side of your head to optimize the stereo listening experience. Then 3, once you've started playing it, you're going to use the balance protocol based on the frequency of the demi-phase audio, which, as I mentioned previously, is 4. So you're going to breathe in and out. On the breath out, you'll say 1. You'll breathe in and out. Second breath out, 2. Breathe in, breathe out, 3. Breathe in, breathe out, 4. The frequency, the audio hallucination you're having is 4, and so you are going to be breathing in and out 4 times, and after each breath out, you're going to count 1. You can say it out loud or in your thoughts, in your mind. And then after that, you're going to move on to the affirm part. So BAL in the balance protocol is breathe part. The A part is affirm, and you're going to affirm simply by saying alien abduction recall and count. So alien abduction recall 1, alien abduction recall 2, alien abduction recall 3, alien abduction recall 4. And finally, just continue listening to the demi-phase audio called Alien Abduction Recall until it's finished. And that's it. Something to keep in mind is that you may or may not have the experience the first time. I have created another acronym. I love my acronyms, just like a lot of agencies around the world. And this acronym is called SWITCH. I blanked out for a moment there. Which is called Sine Wave, S-I-N, as in sinusoidal wave, Sine Wave Incremental Thought Change Hypnosis. Sometimes I call it Second Wave Incremental Thought Change Hypnosis. SWITCH. And the idea comes from the school I graduated from, America's first nationally accredited college of hypnotherapy, recognized by the United States Department of Education, by the way. And they just released a new course, an associate's degree, mind-body degree, which is really interesting. I think I'm going to go for that. And there's a program they have called the Mental Bank Process, or Mental Bank Program. And I firmly believe in the power of incremental change rather than immediate results. Of course, I've had many clients who've had immediate results, sometimes with, for example, arachnophobia that was persistent for 14 years, cleared up in 3 90-minute sessions. I've had other clients have only one 60-minute session and overcome an issue that they presented me with as a challenge to help them. But it varies. I've had clients who came to me to stop smoking, and then a few months later they started smoking again and came back to me, and we had to do the hypnosis for a period of a few months after that. So remember, a severe warning here. This might be something I'm unleashing into the world to have people. It might be a mistake. I have to admit that. You know, even just as I'm recording it, I'm still going to release it anyway. I don't know. People, is it irresponsible? Maybe. How to recall alien abduction experiences. However, I've never in my life ever listened to anything even close to having this title of How to Recall Alien Abduction Experiences, and I've spontaneously recalled being abducted by aliens on several occasions, and have had way too many experiences to dismiss it outright. There's something going on, and it could very well be that I have some some periodically occurring neurochemical imbalances, or there could really be alien abductions. There are so many factors. Suggestibility could be movies, which I also put a link in this blog, and it's also in the podcast. It's called A Stressed, Sleep-Deprived Couple Accidentally Invented the Modern Alien Abduction Phenomenon. And this is something about Betty and Barney Hill, some of the first people who reported being abducted by aliens. And I'm just wanting to be objective and transparent here, that although I know that I've had some experiences that cannot be explained conventionally and that are really very real to me. I mean, just one more thing I'll say is that one of the worst things that ever happened to me was my wife, Flora Elizabeth Carrasco, dying. She died on October 24th of 2019. And in the 2 weeks leading up to that, I was bombarded with lucid dreams, out-of-body experiences, none of which were connected to sleep paralysis or any suggestions of any kind about aliens or any of this paranormal stuff at all. I wasn't focused on that. I was focused on her being trapped in New York because her father stole and hid her passport from her so she couldn't come back home to me in China, and was trying to figure out how to help her get back out here. And one of the significant experiences that I had was waking up in a typical fashion, just how people describe it in alien abduction scenarios. I was lying down on my back, and I was surrounded by what people call the gray aliens looking down on me. They were standing in a circle around me. I don't know what I was lying down on. I don't remember all the details, but I remember that was very significant, and I remember very clearly thinking, I'm being examined by gray aliens. It was very clear. There was no mistaking it. And several other bizarre and really intense supernatural, paranormal, and metaphysical experiences surrounding my dream life and my waking life, which I'm not going to get into here, but that I wasn't looking for this stuff. I wasn't even watching movies or television or anything. I was simply focused on getting my Florcita back home with me. And, you know, it leads me to believe there's something else more going on with these so-called aliens, and that they somehow had some kind of hand in, or maybe were trying to warn me about. I don't know. But that's why I'm still working on these frequency and sound designs, and I'm getting better at it. And I found even more simple ways to create the formulas. And I don't want to continue to rant anymore. Follow the instructions. Remember, play the audio, alien abduction recall. Take in and out 4 deep breaths, and after each exhale, say out louder in your mind the number to count 1 to 4. Then with the same thing, say alien abduction recall 1, alien abduction recall 2, all the way to the number 4. Continue listening to the audio. Keep in mind that it may be an incremental change in your mind state that will lead you to having an alien abduction recall, or it may never happen. But one thing's for sure is that this audio will help you to meditate, relax, lucid dream, and even have other metaphysical experiences, like out-of-body experiences. And you know what? You could even simply just say, instead, in place of alien abduction recall, you could simply say something like, uncover repressed and hidden memories. So that will be something I'm going to make in the future. I'm not going to rush on it. It's just an idea. It will come out eventually. And I'm going to test it with different groups and see who has more alien abduction recall experiences. The group who listens to the one formulated for alien abduction recall and says alien abduction recall, or a group who just says uncover repressed memories. I don't know. It's a touchy subject. This is very controversial. I know it is. I welcome the criticism. I welcome any conversation about it. This is certainly going to be something that is, it's going to be very fascinating. I've been listening to it. I haven't had any alien abduction recall experiences yet. I think because none of them are covered up. I remember every single one of them. Or maybe the experiences that I've had were spontaneous recalls and may not have actually been the experience itself. But they sure as heck seemed extremely real. But so do my lucid dream experiences. Does that make them any less real? Because, in my understanding, the mind is the most real thing that there is. Mind is the master. Thought is boss. The universe, all of reality is mathematical mind. So, mind is first. So what the mind can conceive and believe it can achieve, something like that, thoughts become things. We become what we think about. All that we are is because of what we have thought. I could go on, but I think this will be enough. So, on uniqueequilibrium.com, check out the instructions. If you somehow found this audio and you're not on the uniqueequilibrium.com blog, or blogcast as I call it, stole that name from GoDaddy when they used to have something called Quick Blogcast. I don't know why they took that product away. It was one of the best things for my business at the time. Anyway, so uniqueequilibrium.com, that's where you find the full instructions, and you'll get the download called Alien Abduction Recall. So, get started. Please send me a message or communicate with me if you have something to add or something you'd like to say. I welcome all the communication. And you have been listening to How to Recall Alien Abduction Experiences. All right, listeners all around the world, thanks for joining me for another adventure with metaphysical hypnosis and meditation. Your continued support is always welcome. And if you're excited about the great offerings here that help you relax, sleep, lucid dream, learn, and beyond, then support the creation of many more metaphysical hypnosis and meditation productions by becoming a monthly contributor. You can support these adventures with a subscription by going to uniqueequilibrium.com and simply clicking on the link that says Uniqueequilibrium Supporters, and there you will find links that you can support through Anchor, through PayPal, or through LiberaPay. You've been listening to the Uniqueequilibrium podcast by Hypno Athletics, Exercising Your Mind. My name is Hakeem Ali Bokus Alexander. I'm your host and guide, and I will catch you on the next wave. Stay well.